Mm. Hi, guys. Yes, money mindset is on. I'm here with Miriam. Miriam, I don't think I have to introduce her anymore.
By
She's
now.
part of the group. Yeah, I think she's part of the group. Miriam is a finance mentor. I want to say you're like a strategy mentor as well. You know everything about strategy, about finances. And we're collaborating on the Elevate Your Business Mastermind, our new mentoring program to help you scale your business and understand a little bit about more about what it takes to be a CEO. So on this one, because it's about money, it's I'm going to just let Miriam take the lead because you know everything about it. So I'm just going to be here, listen, and learn as well. Enjoy.
Yeah, we thought we could do a special on money mindset because we know that this is a big sort of block that can come up when you're growing your business. Almost everyone has money blocks, but like as an entrepreneur, you have to face it sort of double because maybe you have some personal finance things that you're concerned about, but then of course you also have your business, and both are connected. So you have like a lot of people, you've got to face, which I say, a lot more unknowns than a normal person because you don't know how much you're going to make. You're trying to deal with all these issues, and everything is affecting basically your sense of financial security. So we thought we could do a little special just specifically around mindset when it comes to money to help you, give you some more understanding of maybe what's going on. And of course, Kris is here because this is something that we also have worked on with her a bit. So, I mean, I come from like the corporate background where there is some discussion of money, but again, like emotions when it comes to money, but usually you're dealing with other people's money. It's not your money. So the amount of emotion that's evolved is different. And when it is your money and you're trying to make financial decisions, it's very important to kind of look at what emotions you actually have underlying, because money is like very similar to food in that you can't really avoid having a relationship like with it. You probably don't think about it, but it's like eating, right? Unless you're going on a diet every day, you just, you make some food, you're eating it at like probably around the same times. Every time you go to the supermarket, you're kind of on default. You just buy stuff, eat it without thinking. And it's the same with money, is that you might not even be paying really, like, unless you're tracking everything, you're kind of on default. You end up sort of spending money on the same things, making similar decisions all the time. And that's actually sort of the first part of money mindset, is actually just becoming like curious about what kind of relationship you have with money, because you might not really even know, like, am I a person who, or you might know, like for example with Kris, you might have a lot of anxiety around money, but you might be someone who, like, you hardly ever check your bank account and you're not really like looking all the time. So I mean, some people are conscious about how they feel, or they know because they get a sense of, like, I don't feel very secure or something. But the first step is really just asking yourself, like, how is my relationship with money? When am I spending money? Am I super controlling? Am I not that controlling? Not like from a judgmental perspective, but just trying to understand, like, what's actually even, like, how are things right now? So this is just to kind of help you see, if you do that exercise, you're going to start to see that you probably have a lot of the same thoughts and the same patterns around money. And that's kind of your start place for looking at also. Sometimes I know that a big one is that often, for example, you want to move forward in your business, but you always feel like you can't afford it. And I think this is something as well that I can bring Kris in
Absolutely.
here, is that sometimes as well you have this feeling, it's like, that there's going to somehow be a point where suddenly you will feel that you can afford it.
Mm-hmm.
And this was something that Kris had to go through, is like you kind of never feel ready, but this can be
Yeah.
also your feelings, like you've had those feelings for a long time and somehow you feel like you never get to the place that suddenly it's like, oh, I mean, maybe even now, Kris, like, I don't know if you want to say something, but maybe you still feel like it's hard to feel like, oh, I can afford to just invest in my business.
Yes, I mean I go through different blocks, but I think that I always have those blocks and I have to think about them. And obviously, it helps that I have you. But I would say that it never feels like it's enough.
Mm.
It's like you earn more, but you still feel like no,
Mm.
and this was a big block that I had initially, that I would just delegate to one person, try to find the cheapest person, or try to still do most of it myself and not really delegate. So it's this thing of hiring someone, but then you try to to keep as much as possible for yourself. I definitely think I've improved a lot
You
on this,
have, yeah.
because now I just want to delegate everything. But I think it comes back to, if you're not someone who tracks anything, whether it's,
Mm.
whatever you buy in your private life or everything you spend for your business, if you don't track anything, you will always assume that you can't afford it.
Mm.
So when I started looking at everything, that I was, um, whether I was investing money or spending on different things, the fact that you then taught me how to look at my finances
Mhm.
and just track and see, if my prices made sense, and just having a thorough look at what my prices were, if they
Mm.
made sense for my ideal client, if I could actually afford delegating. I was like, oh my god, so I can afford
Mhm.
delegating. Actually, I thought that I could not. And then I started slowly delegating, and what happened is that now I just want to delegate everything. And but yeah, if you don't have any idea, I think it's very difficult to be okay with investing money and not spending money on people.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think this is also, I mean, we were gonna talk a little bit about the shifts of that you need to make or that can help you like in your business. But I think this is as well as that it is two parts, because one is just the money mindset part is recognizing, for example, the feeling that you had, like I
The
don't
fear.
the fear, yeah, the feeling is not
Uh-huh.
necessarily true. So this is what I'm saying. It's kind of realizing your relationship if you have these repeat feelings, because there are people as well who generally, for example, people fall into categories, and some are when they get anxious about money, they freeze and they can't do anything. So they try to just not spend at all. Like they're like, oh my gosh, I don't know, so I just won't do anything. And then there is another group of people where they're like, I don't know, so I'm just going to choose something. And
Yeah.
actually, neither of these are actually ideal, because usually the person who's like, I'm just going to choose something might not be necessarily making a great decision either. But the person
Yeah.
who doesn't do anything is also stuck. So
Hmm.
because one might be just overspending, and then when they find the right option, they've already chosen something else. And
Yeah.
then the other one is just stuck not being able to move forward. So
But I think the biggest fear, I mean, for me, but I'm sure a lot of people have this fear, is that you're so afraid to spend money, or
yeah.
that you will never have enough money,
Mm.
that you, instead of seeing everything that, if you delegate, instead of seeing everything that delegating will
Mm.
do for your business and how much money you can earn on top of what you would be making by yourself, you're only seeing the part of, oh, I'm spending money on someone.
Mm.
So you're only seeing, I'm spending $100 per hour on someone,
Mm.
or 50, whatever. Um, and you're not seeing the return on investment that
Yeah.
this person could be doing, the work that this person could be doing might make you 3 or 4 times what you're currently making because you
Mm.
just don't have enough time in your day to do everything. So
Yeah.
you can take on more projects. You're not an expert at everything, so you might be spending a lot of time doing things that you actually don't know anything about. So that was my biggest fear, that I was so afraid of, that money going out of my bank
Mm.
account, that I was not actually seeing, all the
But
money that
what
could
could come back in?
yes,
Yeah,
exactly.
exactly. Yeah, and I think this is also, again, this comes back to like money emotions, is that like since I've worked both in finance, but also like actually it's really interesting to see like what's on Instagram and things,
Mhm.
is that I see, I mean, for personal finance, there's a lot that people have been taught, like basically being careful with money is usually saving or not spending.
Mhm.
And so there's actually like in the back of most people's mind is that I should, like, if I'm careful or good with money, I shouldn't be spending. I should be saving. But the thing is, as soon as you become an entrepreneur, is that you've never learned how to spend money to make money.
Yeah.
And as soon as you become an entrepreneur, you understand that like you can't save your way to success as an entrepreneur.
Mhm.
Like you actually have to create money by spending your money wisely. And so that in itself is like quite a big mindset shift, because like you're saying, it's not, instead of spending, it's investing. You're trying to spend money to create more money, which is going to come back to you. So
Mhm.
I think that's like, also, I think we said we'd talk about like a healthy relationship with money, but like people have different definitions. I think um like the first part of it, like I said, is often just getting aware, like how you feel day to day with your money, like the relationship that you have and the feelings that you have around it. Like if you do have a lot of anxiety or you're not paying attention or whatever it is, just getting aware of that. Like the healthy relationship with money is really, you can define it however. You could say, I want to feel safe, I want to feel calm, I want to feel whatever. But I think at the root of it, it's a lot about shifting to think money is an enabler. Like money
Mhm.
is going to allow me to build my vision or my dream, and that's how I'm going to use it, like
That is good.
every time I spend, I'm like building part of my dream. So instead
Mhm.
of restraining me, I can't do this because money, like there's never enough money. It's my money is enabling me to build what I want in my future. So every time I spend towards my goal or my dream or whatever, it's like I'm believing that that's coming to me. So I think
Mhm.
that's like the healthy way to spend. It also shifts, instead of like often from like a bit anxiety, exactly like you're saying, the fear that it's never coming back. Because that is the hardest part of investing, is you always have to let go first before it can come back to you. So
Mhm.
you can't have the result until you first trust that you let the money go and that it will
Yeah.
come back. um but yeah, I thought thought we would keep this fairly short today, but I think we can, maybe the two most important things to talk about as well are the shifts that help
Mhm.
you as an entrepreneur. One of them we already started talking about, which is that like shifting from thinking of I'm spending my money to I'm investing my money is a really important one as an investor. And I would say even like going from investing your money, you can think you should actually always be thinking about like, I'm going to charge my clients for whatever I'm using in my business. Because
Mhm.
that is actually, you do need to charge. So whatever you're spending in your business is a cost. And when you are charging your clients, you will be charging. So instead of thinking I'm spending, thinking about how is this going to make my product better? You know, for example, even if you're getting, like, let's say you're delegating or something, you know, how much cost am I adding, or is this going to improve the service that my clients are receiving? Are they going to be happy to pay for this? Because when you start to really look at it, they might end up getting a better service, and it actually doesn't cost more than you doing it yourself.
Yeah.
So having that shift, like you're saying, is that, like, is my client for example, getting better service, and is it actually costing them more if I do this admin versus a VA? Like, when you really look
Yeah,
closer at
because
it, it might not, it might even actually be cheaper, and they do it better than you do. So
yeah, exactly. And it's about understanding what your role is as a CEO. If you're doing
yeah,
all the admin tasks, then you're not going to be spending time nurturing your clients,
yeah,
understanding how you can improve the services so that you're giving them a better experience.
yeah,
You can't focus on the marketing to get new clients and reach your ideal client because you have ideal clients.
yeah.
If you have clients already and your product has been validated, you have people who need your
They
service.
want
they
your
need
service.
they need and they want what you have to offer. But if you're not spending enough time being a business owner and
Mm,
understanding what you should be doing, and you're spending all your time, and we have limited energy at the end of the day,
yeah.
and if we spend all our time on tasks that someone else can do better.
Mm.
And I think it's also part of the shift, understanding, okay, what is it that I can do that I'm good at.
The core, yeah, your core
And
role
then,
or
yes,
function that you
and
want
then
to
I
do.
will
Yeah.
find people. It's not because I'm a business owner that I know how to do everything. So it's
Mm,
just about understanding that bringing in other people is not going to help you make more money, but it's going to change completely the offer, like your business.
mm,
It's going to transform it. You're going to be able to create something better, something more efficient,
mm,
something that people will enjoy. And that's one of the things that my clients always tell me, is that they're happy to see that I always try my best to get feedback
mm.
and to improve the services. And it's just
Yeah.
because I'm happy to invest in people to help me grow the business. And when I
Mm,
onboard them, I actually tell them, I want you to be with me, to help. We want to grow together, and we're creating something together. It's not just me and, they're working for me. It's as a team,
mm.
we're helping. Well, yeah, we're trying to create something that will, as a result, scale.
Yeah. And but it's exactly, I think you touched on, because the second part of the mindset shift is really, so going from spending to investing in your business so that you're actually able to provide a better product.
Yeah.
And the second is really, it can help you a lot when it comes to money, to shift from thinking like about me. So for example, like having worries or stress about like pricing or how much you're charging clients and all this kind of thing, to really, like, my focus is to provide the best value to my clients that I can. So this is, again, if that's your focus, your clients will basically tell you how to improve your service, how to basically make more money. So there's actually really no limit as long as you're willing to listen to your clients. And again, you're trying to provide them value. So you're not trying to add things that they don't want to pay for, right? Like, if and that can happen, but the more you listen to them, you're going to be adding all the things that they value, and they're going to be happy to pay you for that, because they feel that, you know, they're not paying more than actually what they're receiving. They're receiving like a great service, a great product, and then they're happy to pay for it. So it's like, if we get really wrapped up in our own money fears, we kind of forget that like, even if you, let's say you have a client, as long as you're willing to listen, or you might have had that experience, like, let's say you bought a product and you weren't that happy, as long as you go back and when you tell them, they listen, and they, they, for example, they even, like, maybe they give you a partial refund, or they try to compensate, or, as long as they're concerned about your experience, you probably actually would purchase from them again. It's more the situation where you buy something, you're not happy, you go back and they don't care at all. They're like, whatever, we got your money. So
Yeah,
if
that's
you
true.
have this mentality that you always want to listen, you always want to work, like, who your ideal clients are, those are people that you want to serve, you're interested in listening, talking to them, like, financially, as long as you're focused on providing them value, you're gonna make money, So I think, those are really the two biggest mindset, like, when it comes to money mindset. And then, getting, of course, the skill set is something as well that, I think is, it's worth investing in learning a bit more how to manage your money. I guess things like we talked about, Kris, with you as well, as how to like track and things like this can also really help you to feel more in control. But that's
Mhm.
also mindset, is actually investing a little bit in your financial health. So learning a bit, because most people have not learned those things. Like everything you know about
Yeah.
money is just from what you did when you grew up, the people you were around, and you might not have actually learned those skills. So
Mhm.
that's also just about investing a little bit of time and maybe some money to learn a bit more about those things. But yeah, mindset's definitely the biggest. So that's just overcome. If you feel stuck, if you feel like I can't move forward, like I've been in the same financial situation for quite a long time, and for some reason, I never feel like I can afford it, or I keep making the wrong choice, or all those kind of things, then it's really about like looking at your mindset and trying to see, um, is this a mind, like am I kind of stuck because of my mindset, or what is blocking me from actually getting to my financial goal, or
Mhm.
creating a difference, like seeing a change, like for example, like getting results in my business where things are actually progressing. So
And I think when you set yourself money goals, like
yeah.
so for now, if you have goals for 2020, well, 2022, then you have to look at the finances, because you need to
Yeah.
understand, okay, if I want to grow to this number, like if I want to reach that number, how
Mm,
am I going to do it? And in the mentoring, so we have Ariana, who is on the beta program, and actually the all the finance stuff is
mm,
you're spending quite a lot of time with her on that,
yeah. Yeah.
because it's linked to everything else. So you can't really not talk about money, because it relates to,
No.
scaling the business. It's one of the main things. It's not
Yeah,
just
no, I
about
mean,
processes and.
no, no. And I mean, the thing is that ultimately, um, you want, and this is, I mean, what we're trying to help people to see is that you can actually work less and earn more.
Mhm,
And I think it's really about helping people because, so, I mean, you want to be, as you're working, building like a foundation in your business so that it starts to run by itself, because otherwise, as an entrepreneur, we all know you start to get exhausted because you have 10 jobs, you're trying to be every single thing in your business, and that's not sustainable over a long period of time.
mhm,
You're getting towards, you start to get really exhausted. So money is like, again, it's an enabler because it allows you to start to put this foundation into your business where it can start to run by itself so that you can actually earn more working less. And that's, for a lot of people, that seems like, again, it's a mindset block where they don't see, like, how is that possible?
mhm.
Because you have this thing, I need to work harder, and then the money's gonna come. And it's not always about working harder, it's about working smarter. But like having that your finances set up so that it is built, I guess, the right way is I don't know how to explain it except for that, is really important. But again, it's just having the right help, and that's really important. Like we want, like again with our beta clients, for me, it's a lot about also helping people to feel less anxious, because these
Yeah.
are like, also with Kris, when we work together, is like money can be such a big anxiety. So when you see the numbers and before you take the steps, you can already see that it will work. It helps relieve a lot of anxiety instead of just, putting the money out there and you're not sure if it will work. So
Yeah.
that's a big part of like our mentoring as well, is just helping, like, I guess, take the sense of disorganization, not knowing, feeling like insecure, and just like, okay, I have a plan and I know what I'm supposed to do, and this would be the financial results. So I know I will meet my goal. I'm not gonna end up worse off than when I started. So
And
that's
actually, you could be surprised if you start tracking, you might be making more than what
yeah,
you think. So,
yeah,
if you start looking at everything you're making from the different streams of income, then you might be actually making quite good money, and you definitely can afford to get
yeah. I
help.
mean, I think that's both with Kris, with Ariana. Is like as soon as you see it, you start to realize actually this is doable, and that's the
Yeah.
most exciting part. Is like it's not as far away as you think. So,
Yeah, and I think
so
the more you look into it, the less anxiety and stress you
yeah,
feel around money, because then it becomes something normal to look at your finances every day,
yeah,
to track
exactly.
everything that comes in, everything that comes out.
Mm,
And before you feel anxious. You don't want to check your bank account. You don't want to see what you're spending. But then, yeah, I do feel like with time, you know, you just have to get used to it, and it gets
mm.
very it normal.
Yeah, and as a business owner, the more comfortable you feel, then the better of an owner you can be.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
I think it is just part of the entrepreneur journey. You can't really avoid it because ultimately you're trying to make money, right?
Yeah, it's
So
important.
it's just getting comfortable, but yeah, just recognizing that it's not if you feel like it's hot challenging, you're normal, not
Yeah.
I think everyone, like, expects that for some reason it should be easy, but it's not. So,
Hmm.
it's completely normal, and it's possible to overcome, and, yeah, so that's why we wanted to talk about it today is just to,
A little
help yeah.
introduction.
Yeah. And if you have questions about money mindset, you can always leave a comment or ask. And of course, like we'll do our best as well to give you tools
Hmm.
to help you to deal with those or ideas like for how you can um yeah, feel more confident. And also of course we want you to meet your financial goals this year. So
Yeah, absolutely. And I think in the coming week, we'll be releasing a strategy worksheet
yeah.
to help you with the strategy part, because now we spent a lot of time reviewing. I'm
Mm,
hoping you start reviewing all of it. If you haven't done so already, fill out the questionnaires, the 5 questionnaires.
yeah.
The links are in the guide section in the Facebook group. And yes, if you have any questions, just leave a comment, and Miriam will be here to answer them.
Yeah, I'll be monitoring the group, so just ask anything you
Cool.
have questions about.
Thank you so much, Miriam.
Thanks,
I'll
Kris.
speak to you soon.
Yep.
Bye, guys.
Bye.